Yo, what's up, guys? It's Brad, and today I just wanted to talk about the psychology of Democrats, people that are still on board with the Democratic Party. What's going on with them? Why are they still even supporting it? I mean, if you think about the politics of the Democratic Party, what Joe Biden, AOC, Kamala Harris support, it's like, what? Like, are you really voting for this? You actually want that for yourself? You're voting for way higher taxes, meaning less money for yourself, lower quality of life, less rights. Many Democrats don't understand the importance of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment because they've never really run a business or they've never really, they're just going along with this. And we'll get to the psychology of it in a second. They're not rebellious. They're not like independent thinkers. They're just fucking. I mean, honestly. I hope that we can come to some sort of unity on some things, but I mean, the level of corruption and what they're really voting for is so unbelievable at this point that either the Democrats are the people that still support Biden are supportive of a guy that literally has dementia and is a pedophile. The guy is on camera touching and groping kids and women. There's a 60-minute, there's an episode of 60 Minutes with Tara Reid, one of his former assistants, describing how Biden raped her, breaking down in tears, completely genuine. And if you compare and contrast that with the Kavanaugh hearing and that lady that was clearly hired by Hillary Clinton or whatever to lie about Kavanaugh, and it was completely disproven, just like the Russia hoax. Tara Reid breaks down and is crying. She can barely get the words out. Anything is possible. Maybe she's an amazing actor, but it looks like Joe Biden really raped that lady. And the evidence is there. So it's like all this evidence is piling up about the Democratic Party. I mean, today, fucking Cuomo comes out and specifically targets Orthodox Jews in New York City. He says, we're targeting these clusters of Orthodox Jews, Hasidim, in New York City, and they're going to have to be locked in their homes, and he's arresting the leaders of these people. And while I don't agree with a lot of what Hasidim do, I'm Jewish myself, and I don't agree with Talmudic texts at all. And I don't agree with a lot of what goes on in the Hasidic community. A lot of them are gangsters and mafioso, and they engage in real criminal activity. And beyond that, and real sick shit. If you read the Talmud, some of the things it says are completely insane. So I'm not just going to defend Jews for the sake of defending Jews because I'm Jewish. But the fact that he's literally targeting it. And yet, beforehand, Black Lives Matter, this fake movement for Black Lives Matter, which is comprised of approximately no black people at this point. You see these riots and these events for Black Lives Matter. There's almost no black people, okay? Black people pretty much know that, like, the Black Lives Matter movement is a corporate, Chinese-sponsored bullshit movement that has nothing to do with caring about black lives at all. More black people have lost their business and their lives, and children have been shot because of this movement than the coronavirus. And they know that. They all more or less know that. But the Democrats, despite all this evidence, still support Biden and Harris and the whole thing. And it's really crazy. So, like, it's two things. It's like, I used to think, okay, what's the psychology behind this? Are they willfully ignorant? And they just don't want to know the facts. They just want to watch CNN for like 30 minutes a night and like get the talking points from the CNN crew and Fox News. And I get that, dude. Like, if you work a lot and you don't want to follow politics, it's not your thing. I get it, man. It's stressful as fuck. I would understand that. But I have a hard time believing that. I really do, because the amount of information that's out there on this stuff on the Democratic Party is unbelievable. And it makes me think, and plus the way they act, the way that they smear Republicans. Every Democrat I've ever known has smeared Republicans. And by the way, I voted for Obama twice. I was a Democrat at one point. I voted for them. But the way that they constantly smear and they just campaign against them, and they tell them, they talk badly about them, they spread rumors about Republicans, and they just have this retarded hatred for Republicans. It's something else. And I think the psychology of it is this. I think that it's like they think that they're going to get some type of power when the Democrats follow through on their globalist new world order agenda of eliminating human life and wiping out all Republicans and whatever their stupid. I mean, it's just the dumbest agenda. It's like a combination of absolute idiocy, a death spiral, complete isolation from real conflict, and I don't know what can't even understand. I can't even remotely begin to understand why many Democrats support socialism, communism. I just can't understand that. I mean, that's like rooting for death. I mean, any country where there's communism, North Korea, China, Venezuela, Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, many of my family and Jewish people I know are like rooting for socialism. I'm like, you idiots. Nazis were socialists. The National Socialist Party was a Nazi. They were Nazis. They centralized industry. They discriminated based upon race. I mean, how fucking stupid. It's shameful. It's very insulting to me because as a Jew, I'll just talk about this. Like, I went to Hebrew school. I was bar mitzvahed and everything, and I've had family that I'm told escaped, the threat of the Holocaust. And personally, I'm like, dude, when I hear that, that they're distinguishing people based on race, they're locking people down. What I saw in New York was like crystal knocked. They're going in, they're breaking businesses' windows. If they think that you're racist, they're gonna go break your window of your business and destroy your business. I saw that. I've had people try to smear my business, but I don't give a shit, so it doesn't really work for me. I don't pander to them because they're full of shit. So, and they're weaklings too. But it really puzzled me for a very long time because I have family, I have friends, I have people I know that are Democrats. And, when I first supported Trump in 2016, I had all these people from high school just dip. They were like, you're a racist. It's your fault that this country's going to hell. And I'm like, actually, I just voted. So, and then their hatred just accelerated, became more extreme. Anyway, so what's their psychology? Well, I think the point I wanted to make with this video is what they don't realize. And if there's any Democrats watching this video, what you don't get is that your party is going to sell you out. This is bigger than Democrat, Republican. It doesn't even matter. The two-party system thing doesn't even matter. They've sold the American people, because you're in America right now, they've sold America out to global interests. There's a larger agenda than just whatever little power grab that you think that you're going to get out of this. I really think that a lot of Democrats think that they're going to somehow come out on top from this. But what they don't get, and what you don't get if you're a Democrat, is that we're all in this together. You live in America, I live in America, and everyone around the world is now in this situation that the Democrats are pushing. They're pushing for this. They're pushing for this new world order, globalist agenda, medical tyranny bullshit. Like, I don't know what your end game is here. If you want a dystopia, you want death. I mean, I don't even think you realize like, how brainwashed you are, how fucked you are. Like, let's say the Democrats get into power. Let's say Joe Biden gets into power with Kamala Harris. They're sold out to the Communist Chinese Party. Do you know what goes on in China? Do you want that here? I don't really think that you want concentration camps in the United States. I don't think that you want a what do they call it? A credit score, social credit score. I don't think you want to have to be mandated to do things and be told when you can and can't do things. We've got a taste of that with the lockdown, but this is nothing compared to what the people in China deal with. Do you want a true authoritarian system? I really don't think that you do. And, again, people that like freedom and they like running a business and like adding value and they like going out and having a beer with their friends, I think you do like that. But the problem is like, you're just, I don't know what it is with them, because they're just so obsessed with this hatred of like Trump and Republicans. If you ask most Republicans, they're like, dude, like, please just stop trying to tell me what to think and what to do and how to vote. Just please if you don't want to be patriotic, we don't really like that. Like, you could just move, but none of them move. And they bitch and complain about America as if it's this terrible fucking place. Where's there a better place in the world than America? We're waiting. We're waiting for an answer to that. Because there's no real answer to that. And if you like Sweden because they have social health care, go ahead. I don't want to live in fucking Sweden. I think the men there are total cucks, and there's a lot of feminism, and they ruined their country by allowing massive amounts of Somali refugees to come in, get raped. The women are getting raped left. I mean, just, I don't know, man. I like it here, and I would like it to get better here. I would not like to regress and have things get worse. And the lies the Dems perpetrate, like, it's really unforgivable, honestly. But we just keep, my philosophy is like, and I know that you're not gonna, if I'm talking to a Democrat right now, I know that they're not going to. They're like an aggressive opponent in the ring. They're already being aggressive. They've already hit me several times. They're not, like, if I am in a boxing ring or I'm wrestling or I'm doing jiu-jitsu and some guy is like literally hitting me hard and I'm in the ring with him, I'd better hit him back, because he's not going to stop hitting me until I hit him back and hurt him or put him down or something like that, or at least fight. Because when somebody is hitting you and they don't care and they're hurting you and there's nobody to stop it, let's say, you have to do that. There's no other way. The guy's coming for you 100%. I know a lot of fucking Democrat pussies don't understand that, liberals, or if you've never fought in a goddamn ring, you've never trained, or you've never had anybody really try to take your head off in a boxing ring or whatever, or in business, you have to hit back. You can't just let people take advantage of you. That's what they're doing. And it's like, we beg of you to like just stop and slow down and think about it, but they don't. They don't stop. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you're not going to realize, like, again, not only is your own party, like, let's just focus on that. Your own party is going to sell you out. Your own party doesn't care about you. You're a pawn. If you study history, this has been done before. It's called being a useful idiot. They're the ones that go, and they're like the brown shirts. They're the ones that go and smash the windows of businesses. They're Leninist, just fucking idiots. And they're the ones that first get lined up in front of the wall to get shot. You're not officers, you're pawns. You're not lieutenants, you're pawns. You're disposable. They don't care about you at all. And frankly, the leadership of the Democratic Party doesn't really care about themselves either. Biden, What has he really got to gain out of this? The guy's an old, corrupt man with a rap sheet 2-3 miles long. Kamala Harris, beyond corrupt. There's no denying that. And they want to come back and talk about Trump and his corruption. Dude, I'd be willing to talk with you about that. If Trump is corrupt, show me some fucking real evidence of that. But they've spent 4 years trying to bring up the evidence of Trump's corruption. Haven't seen a lick of it. Haven't seen a bit of it. I've seen one comment he made about grabbing a girl by the pussy. We all agree. Not a classy thing to say. Not a good thing to say. But I know a lot of Democrats, and I know a lot of people, okay? I go out, I teach game. I've seen people, I've seen girls who go and, suck some guy's dick in the bathroom, get cum on her face, and then go downstairs and kiss her boyfriend. And then I see her. I've seen girls who I was seeing that were like organizing Black Lives Matter events, and they're like, if you're white and you're not like posting up signage for Black Lives Matter, you're not an ally. And then she'd come over and I'd fuck her. And it was just like, I don't even know. I mean, it's just so. It's like you're signing on to be this. You're signing on to a death spiral, really. Like you really, really are. And I don't think that you've. Maybe they haven't had any accountability, or maybe they're so obsessed with death. I don't know what it is, but like, please, if you're a Democrat and you're watching this, for the love of God, like, you're signing up for something you're not gonna like. I'm not threatening you. If you win, if your party wins, if Biden wins and Harris wins, and you get your way, I don't think you're going to want to live in a society that believes in socialism or communism. Biden lies all the time. He says, oh, your taxes aren't going to go up if you make under $400,000 a year. That's a fucking lie. On his site, he supports the Green New Deal, which supports massive tax increases. They're talking about trillions of dollars of tax increases. They're going to take it out of your pocket. The percentage of people that make over $400,000 a year is very small. And by the way, the ultra rich don't pay taxes. Bezos paid 0 taxes the past few years. Look it up, Google it. The ultra Gates, all these people, they pay very, very small amounts of taxes. AOC, all these people are criminals. They get paid by lobbyists from big corporations in China. China probably figured out, Russia probably figured out long ago that the Democratic Party is totally corrupt and they could lobby and pay them off to get legislation passed, and that's what you're seeing today. You're not some fucking revolutionary. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get the mentality. It's a very bizarre and twisted mentality. It almost seems like you guys are just literally just possessed by demons, or you're drugged out on some crazy shit. Personally, what Republicans or whatever, dude, I just want to be left alone to run my business. I don't want to have people tell me what I can say, what masks I should wear, where I can go, what I can, if I want to approach a girl and say she's pretty, I would like to be able to do that. I would like to live in a society where women they're not literal prostitutes, where they're, getting no-fault divorce cases and they can just take your kids. And there's so many issues that the Democrats had pushed. The non-traditionalists, they're trying to get God out of society. No connection to God. Remove God from school. Remove God from every aspect of life. And replace it with what exactly? Black Lives Matter? The openly Marxist? It's just, I don't get what you guys are pushing for. I don't get what the Democrats are pushing for. But frankly, that's probably the exact point of it, is that you're, if you're a sane person that just wants to do good and help people and be good, and be on the right side of history, they're trying to do the opposite. They're trying to sow chaos and destroy, and they just hate. All they understand is how to operate out of hate. The thing that I really don't think that they get is how painful their life is going to be, and that their own party is going to sell them out. Or maybe they do get it. Maybe they do actually get that their own party will sell them out. Every Antifa, BLM, not fucking around coalition fake militia that I've ever seen, they shoot each other, they get into arguments, they're extremely disorganized, they're all like meth heads. They have nothing going for them. They smell like shit. All the women, they put the women in the front. You ever see those Antifa rallies where like the women are in the front and the women get cracked in the face? What kind of man would do that? You put the women in the front of your ranks before you, and you let them get punched in the face before you? That's pathetic, dude. But that's the left, man. Unfortunately, I wish that we could all just get together and have a beer. And I think that's the big difference, too. It's like, the Republicans, the right, I don't give a shit about your race. I don't really give a shit. I would like to be able to make jokes, racist, funny jokes. Like, I think that that's fucking hilarious. Like I've alluded to in other videos, you can call me whatever. You can be like, oh, you big-nosed Jew, where are your shekels today? I'm like, oh, I dropped my shekels on the Merritt Parkway down here. You know, I can laugh at myself. I know. I know who I am. And it's fine with me. But all I ask is, like, let's all bust on each other. That's cool. That's funny to me. Those are my best friends, people that actually, like, we can bust on each other, and it's not a big deal based on, like, race. Who gives a shit? I'm pretty sure most people on the right are like that. Most sane people who have jobs, who have businesses, who aren't being funded by some outside bizarre source, like a lot of these people are. And I'm not saying everybody is. I think there are some, you know, Democrats that aren't, and I'm not saying like I haven't had help from family and stuff like that and everything, but I'm certainly not I'm not on the payroll of George Soros. I'm not on the payroll of the government. No, I run a business, and my business is my primary income source. It is my income source. I've had some loans sometimes, but that's it. Yeah, I just don't get it. And you're going to get sold out. You're going to get fucked over. There's no positive in this for you. Unless you just want to die and have everyone you know and are close with die as well, a slow death, and just live a more and more miserable life under, you know, communism. I mean, these people, they proudly rock like fucking communist. How can you honestly rock communist symbology? Really? Really? Because I'm pretty sure that communism has resulted in death for hundreds of millions of people. People that are Jewish that support this, I am personally so offended by that. It is beyond disturbing to me, and it actually enrages me. Because you're insulting every one of your fucking ancestors that was in the Holocaust, that grew up in that. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, frankly, everyone here is unbelievable. Veterans, people that served in war, real war, they've seen real horrors, they put their life on the line, they've seen their friends die. For you to come back and then say that you hate this country so much you want to see it become socialist, I just don't get it. I mean, you're a terrorist. You're literally a terrorist. America is not a communist country. That's not what this place is. We have it's not perfect. Well, we all admit that, but it's way better than all that other shit out there. It's the greatest country that's out there. If there was a better place to live, I'd be there. I think a lot of people agree with that. So the psychology of these people, it's a combination of willful ignorance, stupidity, with disconnection from God, a connection to Satan, and just wanting to just burn things to the ground. That's what they're into. I mean, the people that fund the Democratic Party, the elites, they're involved with human trafficking, pedophilia, and everything under the sun. And if there are Republicans that are involved with it, fuck them too. Anyone with a sense is going to say that, but that's mostly the Democrats. If you look into this stuff, that's mostly the Democrats. I take no pleasure in saying that, but it's true. Like, when I look at AOC, AOC is honestly to me pretty fucking sexy. And I'd have, or even Pelosi. When I see videos of her candidly just walking in the street, people confronting her, I see a little old lady and I don't really feel too great about being mad at her for what she does. But what she does is, it's just unacceptable. Schumer, all these people, I don't want to see anybody hurt, but like, this is what they're into. They're into that shit. They like hurting people. I've always struggled with this. Like, when I first started boxing, I would have a hard time hitting somebody hard and putting them down. But after I got hit a lot and I got beaten out of the ring a few times, and I've experienced it, I realized that I had to hit back. Otherwise, they were going to keep hitting me. And so I'd rather, honestly, it be them than me. You know? I mean, I know that I'm a pretty productive person. I want the best for you. I even want the best for them. But if they keep hitting me, you got to hit back at a certain point. I'd rather it be me that survives than them. Just saying. I think that's a pretty healthy thing. I think that, you know, someone that's rooting for communism, if it was Trump, and for some, I mean, I don't know why Trump would be hitting me. I don't know about that. I'm not like an aggressive, I'm not the one that's being aggressive. I'm not the one burning down the cities. I'm not the one shutting down the economy. I'm not the one in cahoots with the Communist Chinese Party and taking bribes from them. And my son, who was dishonorably discharged from the military, gets billions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party and Ukraine and all these other places involved with human trafficking. That's not me. And then in his fucking $300,000 car, he's telling me that I'm a bad person for just trying to run my small fucking business, which has been shut down and banned multiple different times. And I don't say that for sympathy. I always fight through it. I'm not complaining. But he's going to lecture me, this guy that's got everything just handed to him, completely incompetent. If you listen to him speak, it's embarrassing. The guy offers no value. In fact, he offers anti-value. That it might as well be synonymous with the Democratic Party, anti-value. And they talk about Trump and how bad he is. If Trump was bad, I'd be there with you, but I just don't see any evidence of that. And I think that the Democrats are just deranged. They're crazy. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, just the things they do. They worship. They go and they literally worship Satan. They have these bizarre things that they do that are just, I don't know what it is, man. I really don't know what it is. But it's like, if you're a Democrat and you're watching this, I speak for a lot of Republicans where we're begging you, man, like, please, for the love of God, stop. Like, it's not going to end well for you. Republicans are probably going to win. They're probably going to win the election fairly. The Democrats are going to cheat to win, obviously. They're trying to do this thing with the mail-in voting and the fake ballots. I mean, see, it's just unbelievable how they get away with all of it, too. Like, Ilhan Omar this last week gets caught on video with a ballot harvesting scheme where she's paying people to steal ballots, the Somali community in Minnesota, to steal ballots from old people and women. And they're mailing these ballots to dogs and cats and dead people, and they're throwing away Trump's military members, active fucking duty members. They're throwing away their ballots. That is unacceptable, dude. Some cushy fucking bitch, Ilhan Omar, who comes here from Somalia, a failed state, and becomes a congresswoman, is throwing away active duty military members' vote, their legal right to vote. See, this is the problem that I have, is that I don't look at Ilhan Omar and wish anything bad on her when I'm looking at her in person. But then when I hear about this shit, and I hear about the pedophile rings and the human trafficking and the drugs and the corruption and their desire to sell us out to China, and they're doing this whole thing with a coup d'etat against Trump, and they're trying to bring in the militaries of foreign governments. And this is all out there. If you're critical of me and you think, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist. All that means to me is that you just haven't Googled any of this at all. and you haven't bothered doing any of your research because it's all fucking there. And all I'm trying to do is spread the word, get people to be a little bit more aware, get them to be personally prepared, prepare their family, and just spread the word. Because the thing is, if we're going to talk about alchemy for a minute, which is a big part in George Soros's book, he has an biography, or he just writes about finance. In his book about finance, which is in my product, which I've read bits and pieces of, he's a big fan of alchemy. And alchemy is all about as above, so below, left hand, right hand path, magic, deception, spirituality, and stuff. He's explicitly writes a lot about this. And Freemasons, all about alchemy. Many of our presidents were Freemasons of high orders. Nelson Mandela, 33rd High Order Freemason. Many people were in Freemasons, and they talk about this stuff. So before you accuse me of being a conspiracy theorist, fine. But then you're basically calling those people conspiracy theorists because they're the ones that talk about it. I just read their own writings. So, I don't even know what the last point I was making was, but like, oh, I do now. Yeah, the left-handed path is illuminated by the right-handed path. You shine light on it, and then it goes away. That's why speaking about it, they want to shut it down. They want to shut everything down. They want to censor. Oh, you can't talk about that. You're racist. What did I just say that was racist? That's what they'll say to me. You're racist. And I'll say, what was racist about that? Pretty sure you're the one bringing race into it. You're racist. On some, privileged white chick that hasn't, ever run a business, lives with her parents, has an OnlyFans account, is an Instagram influencer where she has 50 pictures of her ass or her titties or her face, whatever her best feature is, and she tries to sell it. She's, fucked 50 guys by age 18, 19. Tell me that I'm racist. At age 32, after I've been running my own business for about 8 years and struggling and trying to do the best I can. I've worked different jobs, worked my ass off for a long time, since I was 15. Younger, 12. I've been working since I was 12. And it's just like, no, I'm not racist. You're an idiot. Like, you're just a dumbass. You think that yelling at me is somehow winning you brownie points with the New World Order? It's like those white chicks that would go to join ISIS. Or they would go and go on like a tour against through like Saudi Arabia or some shit. Or through like, they would just like go to Syria, I don't know, some godforsaken part of the Middle East, and be like, I just want to understand. I want to understand. I want to apologize for what we've done to you. And they're like, oh, very good. And then they rape her and cut her head off. There have been many accounts of this. Like, maybe not a ton, but there have been quite a few accounts of like dumb liberal women, white women usually, going to like horrible places and getting raped and their head cut off. And they're just like, oh, the left's like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. No, it's not. She had a family. She had a mom and a dad that love her. And when she died, their hearts were ripped out. And they probably haven't recovered from it emotionally. This is another thing with the left. They celebrate the death of people. There was a guy that was shot yesterday at a Patriot prayer. He had the bear mace. It was like a sticky situation. It looks like he maced the guy. The guy was a fake security guard. Like, he didn't even have his security guard license. And he was like a clearly trained shooter, and he just fucking popped him right in the head. Guy was instantly dead. He headshotted him, and the guy just died right there. His fucking back of his head was blown out. His brains were all over the goddamn concrete. And the left, what did they do? Oh, one less fucking racist white supremacist gone and dead. That guy had a family, dude. That guy had a mom and a dad, and I don't know him. He might have been a bad person. I don't know. But for you to celebrate that is some sick shit. When Trump was sick with coronavirus, the left was like, woo, he's gonna die, baby. When Trump's brother died, the left's like, yeah. Oh no, they were like, wrong Trump. Like, too bad that Donald didn't have too bad Donald didn't die. His brother just died. I mean, it's just a sickness. It's an obsession with death. It's an obsession with like hatred. And it's not to say oh, like I'm perfect and I never hate anybody. Dude, I get pissed. Especially when I see that and I'm in a bad mood too. And like someone on the left like catches me when I'm in a bad mood, or just like people in general catch me in a bad mood. Yeah, I can get really pissed. I can feel true hatred. I just don't like to go there, but yeah, you can push me there too, but it's the celebration of it, the mob mentality of it, and I really think that you people are trying to cash a check that you don't have. Like, I really think that most of the people that I've seen that are really like rooting for this very often are very unhealthy. They don't have training. They're not intelligent. They have no arguments. And if they're going up against the majority in this country, even just this country, they're not going to win. And even if, let's say, you drop like some bombs on us and you beat us back, when the Democrats get elected, literally they're going to sell us out to the UN, and they're going to sell. They already have. They've tried. They've tried to sell us out to the UN. They've tried to sell us out to China. They've tried. God only knows what else they've sold us out to. You're not going to beat them either. They're going to come in with the harshest draconian laws, and you'll probably think, but no, I was good. I wore the face diaper and the mask, and I told Trump I hated him, and I screamed like a fucking idiot. That doesn't matter, guys. You're fucked. You're fucked. You're fucked. I mean, you're basically fucked either way. I mean, you've been just screaming for 4 years since Trump's been elected. The tension was there beforehand, and now that, you know, Trump's going to win legally, and, you know, you're fucking Pelosi and Schumer are going to do the mail-in ballot hoax, just like the Russia hoax, you're going to be even more upset and scream even louder, and you're going to get put down like rabid dogs by hopefully legal process. If you went, you rioted and you looted, I hope that you go to jail. If you murdered somebody or you punched some innocent old lady in the back of the head and laughed about it, I hope that you get the death penalty. I really do, because what I've seen these leftists do is sick and wrong, and it's not right. It's sick. It's sick behavior. It's not right, okay? You're a threat to society, and I just hope that you just stop it, you know? I hope you just stop it, because I don't want to see you get hurt, even though you've done bad things, but maybe it can be worked out in some other way without you getting really hurt, because that's going to hurt your family. That's going to hurt society. It's not good. It's going to be a powder keg. More conflict is going to come up, and it's not a boxing match. It's not a fantasy. If you want a real visual of what war probably actually looks like, maybe go talk to a veteran who's been in war, or watch a documentary on war. I really don't think that you want that dystopic, horrible hellscape that you're asking for. And it's not going to be some cutesy little fake riot that's actually protected by the police. Your riots, the BLM riots, were protected by the police. You talk about defunding the police, you couldn't riot in a Republican area with no police. You would get mowed down. And like, part of me is like, it would be absolutely hilarious. And I do take a bit of, there's a sick part of me, but like, I try not to go there, because it's not really funny, because your family's gonna feel it and other people are gonna feel it, and it's gonna be bad, and you're gonna hurt, and it's not really a good thing to really wish for. But like, dude, honestly, if you need the police, and yet you talk about defunding, it's that satanic bullshit inversion. If the police was defunded and you went into a Republican neighborhood and you try to loot, do you know what type of firepower those people have? You have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea. Go try this shit in Alabama, or upstate New York, or Pennsylvania suburbs, or any place where there's like, you know, people that are just normal, non-liberal fucking people. You people are in the minority. Go try it in the hood. Oh, you know what? That would actually be the best place for you to do it. You guys are all about Black Lives Matter, huh? Why don't you go and try this shit in the hood? But you wouldn't. Because you're bitches. Because honestly, like, the left is filled with bitches. They go and they do it where they know that they're safe. You go and you loot and you burn and you do all this shit in Soho, Manhattan. Broadway, Manhattan, you go and you do it in Los Angeles, in the prosperous areas. You go to the places you think you're going to be safe in doing it. You won't ever do it in the hood. Dude, just try it. Try it. Fucking try it. If any of you have ever even been there. It's just ridiculous. So, I mean, I don't know. This is just kind of a rant on the left, but dude, these people are so off base. Their psychology is just so fucking wrong. Just come back to the light. God is not bad. God forgives. The world can be a beautiful place. I don't know what you're rooting for here. I've seen some of this Satanism shit that people are into, and it's just dark, dude. I've also seen, the darkness that people can really get into in life. Personally, I'm not attracted to it. I've been there, and I've been really disturbed by it. It's not for me. It's scary, it's disturbing, and it's also very synthetic, too. It's like the people that go there, they're like, it's just fake. It's just fake, dude. The real tough guys, in my opinion, maybe there's a big mix of it, but the most tough guys I know are like good, God-fearing people. They love their family. They love their kids. The toughest men I know are family men. The guys that you really don't want to mess with are family men. And they're way, way tougher than me. And they're who am I? I'm not even a tough guy. The guys that are really, really tough, that you do not want to mess with, they're family men. And dude, I mean, I've just seen it. I've seen these guys literally take on a whole crowd of people. And just no fear at all, just pure balls, don't give a fuck. And I've seen that violence too. Scary violence. When I look at Antifa and BLM and these leftists and these little white girls and these crazy black people that are looting and rioting and screaming in white people's faces, and it's not all. Again, well, God forbid I bring up black people. Look, there are crazy black people that are extremely racist and extremely terrible people. Just like I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, man, just, we all should be getting along, building the country up, and building resources for everybody, and helping everybody out have a better life, and helping the children have a better life. We shouldn't be talking about having late-term abortions. I mean, think about that. The left is literally a real issue for them. And there's all these women celebrating it, like, oh, I want my abortions on demand. It's just sick shit, dude. I don't even know. I really don't think that there's ever been a clearer distinction between two parties. But the left doesn't even realize that they're being manipulated. It's part of a lockstep plan that has been organized by greater powers other than their little Nancy Pelosi. We're talking about people that run the world. They run the global banks. They're a lot smarter than you. They're a lot smarter than me. They're a lot smarter than Pelosi, and they have this whole plan. But you can read their documents. They put this stuff out. Agenda 201, the Rockefeller Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. All these people have this information out there. Fauci, his patents, the CIA.gov archives of information. People that have been studying this shit for years. You can find out more about your own party by reading that. Read their own writings. But you won't. And that's the thing too, is they don't read it. They don't read any of it. Don't look at any of it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's I don't even know what to say. It's a really, really sick satanic thing. They're goblins. I don't know. They're goblins. And I wish they would just be human again so that we all could just get along and do well together instead of having this virus sector of humanity that's just trying to take us all down and destroy our families and our bodies, forcibly inoculate us and yell at us about putting a face diaper on. It's just whatever, guys. It was a long video. Just wanted to get it out there. Hope you guys have a great day. Check out my blog, bradholiday.com. Sign up for the newsletter. I do offer coaching. I have a great product I spent a shitload of time making, and I offer boot camps for going out and cold approaching women and becoming more attractive to women and getting over your fear of approach anxiety, which everybody has. So that's about it. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.